I'm going to take just 5 minutes, and I'll give the story. I think I have probably the most vivid memory of what actually happened. So I'll give the story. Dale, I just ask that you would refrain from speaking.
All right.
Until we're done. And here's what happened, as I recall. You know, the event was winding down last night. You know, things were slowing down. We were standing around. The temperature was dropping. And me and Vinnie were standing there chatting about the weather. And I don't remember if it was Vinnie or myself, but one of us said, you know what? We're concerned about the girls. You know, this temperature is dropping. It's cold. You know, they're chilled. You know, we got to do something about that. Sure. We had a car, so we knew that we could get them back to the resort, warm them up. And, you know, we only had one problem, though. I mean, as we're talking, you know, Jimmy had the keys to the car, and Jimmy had previously told us, you know, look, I've been waiting my entire life to see a gunfight in the Wild West. I mean, this is just my life stream. He's a Jersey boy, never seen a cowboy. So we know that he's in the show. So, you know, what are we going to do? You know, we got women, they're afraid, they're cold. So, yeah, Vinnie said, look, I'm going in. I'm going to go get Jimmy. I know his character. I know the kind of guy he is. I'm going in. Vinnie goes to the door. It's locked. You know, he can't get in the show. Looks at me. I'm like, Vinnie, just get it done. You know, it's a 10-foot high fence. You know, so Vinnie looks around, and you know, there's a door off to the side. It's danger. You know, high explosive. You know, high voltage. No admittance. Vinnie didn't even hesitate. He just went right in there.
That's for the team.
Yep. Yeah. Somehow he finds Jimmy in the show. You know, want to understand Jimmy was laser focused. You know, looking at the Cowboys, but you know, if anyone's right, you know, Jimmy did not even hesitate to come out.
No, he came right out.
Came right out.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, here's where the story gets a little troubling. A little hurt. Well, let's see. You know, the three of us, we make our way up to the front. Sure enough, you know, there's Rachel, Amy, Wilkins stand there, you know, shivering and cold, and we go up to them. We said, "Excuse me, girls, you know, we have a car. You know, we'd like to take you back to the resort. We know you're cold, et cetera, et cetera." So they're like, "Oh, great, thank you. You know, thank you, appreciate that." So we start making our way. Jimmy was leading the way. He had the car keys, and you know, the girls were there, and I was right behind them. And Vinnie, you know, the gentleman that he is, he was saying some goodbyes, and so he was kind of tagging behind. You know, we get to the car, and you know, out of my peripheral vision, I saw a flash. You know, it was like a ninja flash. And at this point, I have to say, you know, Vinnie's a Jersey street fighter. I mean, he can take care of himself. But you know, unfortunately, it was more than that. You know, this. For those of you that don't know, Dale is a black belt, you know, karate, you know, I think Canadian Boys Club champion, 10 years. I mean, he's got belts, certification, trophies that high. I mean, I've seen them all. The guy is a trained killer. And
This is true.
Well, what's your nickname? Give us your nickname. Well, the other one.
Bone crusher.
Is Bone Crusher.
This is true. It is.
So let me get us back to where we were. You know, I see this going on in my peripheral, and as I said, you know, Vinnie didn't stand a chance. He was attacked from behind, thrown down to the ground. I mean, I saw, you know, just flipping and kicking and dust back there. You know, so I jump in the car, and I didn't want to alarm the girls. You know, I'm like, well, you know, I just kind of tried to gather myself. About that time, Dale jumps in the car, and he said, "Hit it, let's go." Vinnie decided he wanted to take the bus. And, you know, Jimmy's like, well, okay, if that's what he's going to do, that's fine. So, you know, I'm just sitting there, you know, I've got the integrity check. You know, I'm like, you know, what do I do? I've got this guy behind me that I know he's a trained killer. He's out of control. I said, Jimmy, that's not true. I said that we have to go back for vets. So, I mean, you know, putting myself in danger and the others in the car. Jimmy didn't hesitate. I said, something's going on here, I can't explain right now, just please, go back. So Jimmy whips it, we come back around. We're out there in front, to see Vinnie, he's kind of dusting himself off, gathering himself. And at this point, what happens next, he really needs to stay in this room. We can't let this go outside these four walls. Bone Crusher puts his hands around Jimmy's neck, and he makes a statement that just sends chills up and down my body. He says, keep going. And if you guys don't act normal, Jimmy gets hurt. So here I was in the front seat, and it was all I could do to muster up a very nervous wave. As we went by, I tried to get a smile, coming by. Poor Vinnie had no idea what was going on in the car. So, and here's where I got to really hand it to Jimmy. We come around the corner, and hands still around the neck. This guy's eyes were red. He's breathing heavily. And Jimmy says, "You know what? Do what you will to me. I'm not leaving my SSR. We're going back. We're going back." So we make the corner again. We come back by. And at this point, I had gathered up the nerve to, I kind of build off of Jimmy's courage. And I get up there, I roll the window down, and I'm like, "Vinnie, come help, come, please help us." That's what I was saying. You probably couldn't hear that.
He did,
And here's where it gets really ugly. We at this point, we have a desperate man in the car with us. And I'm mortified to tell everyone that what happened next. Dale put the chokehold on Jimmy, and all I saw was Jimmy's body lurch, as a result of that. And he accidentally hit the accelerator.
My leg spasmed.
The body lurched, and we hit the gas. We went flying out of there. The tires spinning.
I hit the horn by accident too. I remember now.
His head came forward.
I tried to brace
hit the
myself.
horn.
That was good.
And you know what? I look in the rearview mirror, and all I see is poor Vinnie standing there, coming to help.
Like a hit to the
He
stone.
got later that he got hit in the head with a stone.
Bad day yesterday.
Yeah. And at this point, I decided, I took control. I said, "Look, Jimmy, please just get us back to the resort. We'll sort this thing out there. I'm sure Dale will calm down. He'll come to his senses, and he'll take ownership. As soon as Vinnie gets back to the hotel, I'm sure Dale will step up, tell him exactly what happened. We had no choice in the matter."
I understand.
And I'm a little disappointed to say that when all that happened, when we got back, or actually when Vinnie got back, Dale was, and I get choked up even thinking about it. Dale let Vinnie continue to believe that, it was us. It was Jimmy. It was.
You understand that too.
Here's what I suggest. A couple things. At some point here, I'm going to allow Dale, the opportunity to man up, to make things right here. But that being said, I was wrestling with this Dale thing. We have the three Dales, and actually Dale until the other night has been fairly good. I've been hearing from Zane that this new Dale in Columbus has really come in. He's cracking the whip. He's just being real strict, real stern. I was thinking about taking the evil and putting it on that guy. I was thinking about that until the events of the other night. So there's consequences to our actions. There's accountability. From this day forward, you are the evil devil.
Thank you. Then I just want to say, fuck you.